I have to ask you, you broke both, left arm, then fractured a wrist. In the skateboard era, what was your favorite era of skaters? For me, it's the Bones Brigade
Bones
era.
Brigade,
Was it?
all the
Okay.
way, yeah, for sure. You know what? I just met Lance Mountain, and he was a total jerk.
No way. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
I was so bummed. Like, like when you meet your
You know
heroes.
what? You couldn't have met Lance. Lance is the most humble guy. I mean, I've known Lance for years, and I talk a lot, and Lance hasn't talked a lot, but I can't believe that something must have.
Yeah, he maybe his dog died that morning or something.
Or something.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't say, but that day I was like shocked because he seemed so cool, and Tony Hawk is so cool, and Cabs, I've skated with Cab before, and I just had never met Lance before, and Lance Mountain was always one of my favorites, and we just did a run of shows, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey man," and he was just like, "Yeah, whatever." I was so bummed. I just walked away. I was like, all right.
In defense of Lance, I gotta, at some point I'm gonna hook you guys up, man, because he is the coolest guy. Seriously, that's so lame.
Yeah, well, it was kind of this thing, I don't know, it's a long, boring story, but
was that era though of skaters, when you got into skateboarding?
Yeah, Bones Brigade, and you know what? I still love Lance. It's all good. I don't care.
Lance, if you're listening, it's all good. Give us a call though. We'll work it out.
But yeah, I mean, the Bones Brigade was it. I would wear, I wore Air Jordans when I was a little kid, and then, all those guys were wearing the blue and black and the red and black Air Jordans. Started wearing them again. I discovered the Misfits because of Steve Caballero wearing the Crimson Ghost t-shirt in Animal Chin.
There you go.
Doing the launch ramp. I was like, what's that shirt? And I went on sessions, sold all the t-shirts, ordered all these Misfits t-shirts and all the Misfits records, and so that actually, skateboarding brought me into punk rock.
It seems like there was always that bridge back then of skateboarding and punk rock that had a lot of people connected that way. You just brought up Steve Caballero, bass player in the Faction, skateboarder, boom, together. You had the guys in JFA, guys in the Big Boys. There's really a skate punk scene back then. Hey, I want to play some music right now. Okay. My guest tonight, Matt Skiba. We are hanging out. This is Complete Control Radio. Here's Stupid Kid by Alkaline Trio on Complete Control Radio. And then we'll come back. Everything good in there? Complete Control Radio, Alkaline Trio right there. Stupid Kid, going back a little bit right then. Hey, I want to talk more about the record, but before I talk about that, I do got to bring up something. You and I have talked about this kind of off the air. I figured I'd ask you this. I feel there's a misconception with Matt Skiba, sometimes with Satanism. I've read things on the net. I know you and I talked about that a little bit, that people have a misconception that, your beliefs or whatever. And I wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to use Complete Control maybe to answer some of those questions, or just maybe put an end to all of the back and forth of what Matt Skiba believes in or what Matt Skiba is all about. Yeah. And I felt like, if that's cool with you, to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, I people hear that I'm a member of the Church of Satan and think that I'm a devil worshiper, which I'm not. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe, not in the biblical sense, or I don't believe in God in the biblical sense. I think the devil and God exists in all of us. And, I think Anton LaVey, who started the Church of Satan back in the 60s and who died in the 90s, he was someone that I thought was really, it was really what I loved about punk rock. It was really threatening to the status quo. People freaked out over this guy's trip, and he didn't believe in an actual devil either. He was a really great showman. I mean, and it was someone that I saw when I was a little kid that impressed me because I was a huge Flash Gordon fan, and it was like Ming the Merciless, but he was for real.
Yeah.
And so a few Christmases ago, Derek, it was a few years ago now, but Derek and I bought each other memberships to the Church of Satan for Christmas, just for fun. We always wanted to join, but never did, because it was that's cool. But when Anton LaVey died, in my opinion, so did the Church of Satan. You're
kind of hey, when Joey Ramone bailed, the Ramones bailed.
Kind of, yeah, exactly.
When Glenn left the Misfits,
they're
no
not
more
the
Misfits anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so, but and I always say this to people too. If there's a Church of John Waters, I'd join it. It's fun. I mean, and it's based on fun. There's no dogma involved, not to me anyway. There's people that feel differently about it. To me, it's it's not who I am. I'm not a practicing Satanist. I don't consider myself a Satanist, any more than it's just, there's a lot of things that Anton LaVey sort of took influence from Nietzsche, Ayn Rand, a lot of these philosophers and stuff that I agree with. It's like, make your own choices. You're your own God. You are in charge of your own destiny. If you do something wrong and it makes you feel bad, don't do it again. Don't go tell someone that you're sorry in like a confession booth and then go do it again. It doesn't make it okay, and nothing against what people believe in. Some of my best friends are Christians, and I respect that. And I think what Christ represented is something beautiful. It's like there's that bumper sticker, Christ save me from your followers. And I'm with that, it's like, it's just been bastardized, and people get killed in the name of God all the time, and I'm just not really having it. But I think I'm a spiritual person. I treat people the way I want to be treated, but if somebody hits me, I'm not into the whole turning the other cheek thing. You know what I mean? There's just things that don't make any sense to me, really. But yeah, the Satanism thing, it's people make a big deal out of it. I can understand why, but they shouldn't.
Man, I'm glad you took the time to do that, because so many times, with everything out there, kids running on the internet, everyone reading this and that and that. By the time you were going to show up today for the interview, I thought maybe you'd come in with like a cape and a tail.
No, I left it and it's in the car.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. Switching subjects, we'll go from Satan to maybe, in some people's opinion, more than Satan. It's even worse than that, the music business. I know you guys...
The real devil.
The real devil. I know that you guys have done time on so many different independent labels. I know you're friends with every independent, whether it's Fat Mike, the friends over there at Epitaph, Asian Man, everything in between. And you guys have, gone through the ranks of that, and you're doing business now with Epic Records. Your friends are over there. Has it really ever been... when you were writing music, really important to you on what label it is, or is it just like, I want to get a record out, and you know what, at that point, that's up to them to get it in the stores and whatever. Is the music the only thing that really matters to you?
In a sense, yeah. I mean, I think for us, we've always been real conscious of who we work with. I mean, I would never work with someone intentionally that I thought was unpleasant, like somebody that I couldn't go have a drink with. I wouldn't want to do business with, just because of what we do. It's like we're in like rock music, and we've worked really hard to do what we love. Why work with people that you don't like? Because there's cool people out there. The record industry is full of douchey people, but it's also filled with really cool people like yourself that do it because they love it, and and are successful because they love it, and people trust them, and people want to work with them. And so for us, it's on the business side of it, we always want to do what's best for ourselves financially. Of course, it's the world we live in, but most importantly, we want to work with people that we like and we trust, and that we can have dinner with, and it's like hanging out with friends. And luckily, everywhere we've ever been, it's always been like that.
That's cool. And it seems that that's reflected in your guys' music.
That's cool.
It really comes across, Hey, I got to ask you one thing. A few years back, you guys did a cover of Wait for the Blackout by The Damned. I play that all the time on the show.
That's great,
Did you ever get a chance to see The Damned? Have you ever played that track for Dave Vanian? Did they know that you covered the track?
We played with The Damned a bunch of times on Warped Tour. They were on Warped Tour a few years ago. You probably remember, for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And The Damned are my favorite. I have, the only sticker I have on my car is a Damned sticker. And I met Dave Vanian. I think I freaked him out because I was such a fanboy. But yeah, Captain Sensible would come and get drunk on our bus every night and stuff. And it was just like a real dream playing with them. And I was on the side of the stage every day singing along.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to go back out on the road again. Dave Vanian's still one of my favorite, vocalists from that era.
He's the best, yeah.
You had, Joey Ramone, and you had Dave Vanian. I mean, two of the best, vocals in punk rock, in my opinion, in the early years,
Danzig, well, yeah, I guess
Danzig too,
it was like Dave Vanian and then Glenn Danzig were it for, I was like, those guys, they're creepy and they're cool and they croon. I don't like being like, I like a lot of old punk rock. Like, the only band I really like where I'm getting screamed at is Slayer and Minor Threat, and that's about it. Like, I love people that sing.
We should have had Slayer underneath you while you were talking about the whole Church of Satan.
Maybe we
can do that. We'll make that happen.
That'd
Hey, you
cool.
can check out this whole interview, and we'll actually put Slayer underneath it. You can check out the interview me and Matt just did at youtube.com. Go to the channel section and type in Complete Control Radio. Matt, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and stopping by.
Thanks for having me,
this.
pal. Yeah.
We finally made it happen.
Yeah.
And maybe, if it's okay with you, would you do any kind of phone-in from like out on the road when you're out there with Rise Against?
Absolutely.
And
whenever
just
you
call
want.
drunk dial me at some point
I
and
will.
leave some message.
I'll do it every night.
All right, I love it. Hey, I'm going to leave you with the track that I believe should be the second single on this record. Here's some Alkaline Trio right now. This is Agony and Irony off the Agony and Irony record. The track I'm going to play for you, I absolutely love. This is Into the Night. Alkaline Trio on Complete Control Radio.